I had good skin until I didn't. I don't have a time frame of when it started, but I was somewhat earlier to puberty than my friends and started getting acne in my early teens, changing my lovely baby skin that we're all born with. That was the beginning, but when you're young, you just live with it, as most of us try to do, with our own little flaws and insecurities. Sometimes it was better, sometimes it was worse. So I embraced it as part of my identity and tried to look past its indelible effect on me. I thought I could be stronger than a skin condition, as it was only a surface problem, after all. For the first 21 years of my life, this is the way things were. I was simply the girl who had acne, an inseparable quality from who I was. Things took a turn in 2022 when I left home for university exchange. I left for the Netherlands, and though it should have been a fun, light, and filled with wanderlust trip as it was sold to me, it became one of the hardest times of my entire life. It was actually life-changing in hindsight, just not in the way I expected. I was so lonely, struggling to adapt into this terribly new environment, and most of all, as the months went by, became more and more marred, inflicted with the worst skin I'd ever experienced in 24 years on Earth. And before you ask, yes, I did everything I knew to try and get rid of it. I cut out dairy, I home-cooked most meals, went on regular walks and exercised, I drank water, slept on sheets that were cleaned at least once a week or more. I tried my best, but best didn't work, and my skin only went down a further spiral of hormonal cystic acne. I woke up every day and forced myself to go out and go through the motions, but it was like doing it in a shell of a body. It was very hard to make friends or see people or feel like I was worthy of friendship or socializing. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror because I didn't know who was looking back at me, and I was so afraid of who I'd see there in the reflection. So this is the story of how acne controlled me and made me into a creature that I hated. But it's also the story of how, after coming home to Singapore, I tried to heal my skin. Also, this is bareface vlogging today. I didn't want to put on makeup. I'm sucking on a sweet, by the way. I didn't want to put on makeup because I just didn't feel like it was super necessary for today. I'm just gonna go get a surgery. I'm not going out. And I didn't want to bother about, removing makeup and all of that kind of stuff once I got home. So yeah, this is just skincare on. Still got a lot of scarring, but other than that, it's alright. And in so doing, also heal my mental health and my life. I can't tell you where this story began, really, but let me just start here, when I'm halfway through my first job as a fresh grad in Singapore. So after I came back from exchange, my skin had already cleared up quite a lot on its own, I think helped by the humidity and climate that it's used to. But I was still breaking out pretty often, and now I had to face acne while going to work every day, being surrounded by my colleagues, not just friends who are used to my acne complexion. I still felt, for the most part, pretty damn shitty. So in February 2024, I went to the hospital dermatologist and got prescribed to go on accutane, which is the first time a doctor had ever suggested me to go on it outside of other courses of antibiotics that I had tried to go on before. I started taking it almost exactly 1 week after that first appointment. On 21st February 2024, I took my first dose of accutane, or isotretinoin, under the brand Nimigen, and I took that every single day until I reached the required dosage of my specific height and weight. My medicine just arrived in hospital. Fix this. So let's have a look. Here we go. Isotretinoin. Actually, that's really small. It's really small.
Smaller than some medicines I've had.
Yeah. Yeah, I ordered fish oil, omega-3 fish oil. And I feel like those capsules are really big. Okay, I have some clindamycin. It's a gel. Finally, big ass bottle of QV for moisturizer. And that's it. Okay, day one, let's go.
Is it easy to swallow?
But now I'm like nothing. To get on Accutane in Singapore, you do need to jump through a few hoops. One is getting a blood test to make sure that your cholesterol isn't high or at dangerous levels. And two is to either be abstinent from sex or show that you are on some form of birth control, because Accutane can result in liver problems from changes in triglyceride and cholesterol levels, and even cause abnormalities if you happen to give birth and have a baby.
Okay, Helena. Okay, oh, nice one.
Nice.
It's like, think of Okay, Helena. Okay, Helena.
Oh, okay. Never donated blood before, so
Oh,
don't know
okay.
what that was like.
But the donation blood, the donation is much bigger than Jen. Okay, can go back home already.
Okay, thank
bye-bye.
you.
Okay, bye-bye.
So those are pretty serious side effects among the other ones I will talk about in a bit. I ended up taking isotretinoin or Accutane for just over 10 months, or 42 weeks to be exact, which ended up being 5,880 mg of the drug inside my body. The clearing up did not happen all at once. Because I was taking a pretty low dosage of 20 mg per day, which is 2 10 mg of those little pink pills, it was a very gradual process, and I only started noticing some real changes about 3 to 4 months in. By then, I was also feeling all of the side effects. Everything was so dry because Accutane didn't only dry out my face, it also dried out my lips, my body skin, which is already more on the dry side, and my scalp as well. I feel like I started peeling off my lips because they would be so flaky to the point that they would bleed, and I would just keep picking at it. On top of that, I started getting worse and worse joint pain, which is also probably due to the fact that I sit down a lot more because of work, like I'm more sedentary, and maybe also picking up running along the way, but my joints just hurt way more than they used to. When I climbed into bed at night, like my knees would hurt, my hips would hurt, even my lower back. So there were just a lot more bodily effects to deal with, and I had so much hair loss. Like, hair loss is also one of those things that I feel like I've been struggling with for a number of years, but I do think that being on Accutane has made my hair loss even worse in a way. Like, I drop out so much hair per day, and my hair is noticeably thinner than what it used to be before I was on this course of Accutane or Isotret. Another thing is that Accutane is not free. I had to pay for all of this out of pocket because I wanted to and I chose to, and 10 months worth of medication, doctor's appointment, blood test, all in cost me $1,394.68, which averages out to be about $100 per month for the year of 2024 on average to get my face to the state that it is today. And this is with no insurance, no subsidies, directly from my salary to the hospital. What I can say is that Accutane really did work for me. At least it has so far. I did experience a minor purge in months 1 to 3-ish, but it was nothing ever as bad as what it had been while I was on exchange. And as my skin dried out, I went from breaking out often to having almost no pimples. And as someone who has always had very oily, acne-prone skin from genetics, from the climate that I'm in, yes, maybe also from a poorer diet before I started cutting out dairy and like excess sugar and all of that, having less oily skin is just a game changer to me. And there's no way that I think I could have really changed that if not for some very, very strong medication. And I had been on so many antibiotics before, a lot of topical treatments, and none of them had ever worked, even when I was at like the healthiest point of my life. Not getting pimples often meant that my skin could really heal, and I wasn't busy trying to lighten my scars from older zits just to have new ones spring up again. So for the first time in a very long time, I didn't have to worry about becoming oily throughout the day and looking shiny as hell to other people, wanting to blot my skin, which can cause even more oil production. And maybe even more importantly than all of that, I could eat freely. I could actually eat cheese, drink milk, everything that I love and is delicious without that gut-twisting sense of guilt that had always plagued me in the time before. Anxiety that I was going to regret this choice to have something that I enjoyed eating and that I'd pay for it the next day with a big angry spot, punishing me for stepping out of line, as it were. This is my skin today as of December 2024 makeupless, helped mostly by a strong drug called isotretinoin. As I have always done, I still drink a lot of water as much as I remember to. I exercise regularly, at least 2 to 3 times a week, and I try not to eat too much crap because I honestly just love to eat veggies. At this stage of my skin, I'm working on trying to lighten my scarring with vitamin C and other actives, but I'm still using in general very gentle and moisturizing skincare along with sunscreen, of course. So if you're interested to know what I use, check back in for my next video very soon where I'm going to be detailing my whole skincare routine using affordable, sensitive skin friendly products. So this is how the story pauses. There is no end, not a proper one anyway, because acne has been a main thread of my life narrative and has marked me from the beginning. And I think it's always going to be here, going to be a part of me one way or another. Money and medicine brought me better skin and a huge peace of mind, but the sad reality is that acne can be debilitating and it can always come back. There's always that risk. Among other circumstances, it has humbled me greatly and made me extremely insecure for a good number of years. The other hard truth is that it takes a lot of inner work to feel like yourself and to feel good. Whether your condition or struggle is an outward one or more of an internal one. And I struggled for so many years to be comfortable in my own skin, and I only found this peace after I paid money for medicine to stop it, to, not fear looking at myself in the mirror. But I also think it's this experience that has also made me stronger. Perhaps what matters more is that I'm truly able to empathize with those of us who have skin struggles that are uncontrollable and for some reason awfully moralized. Like, to have bad skin means that you are a bad person, having a bad diet, and someone who doesn't take care of yourself. Having acne means that I know that narrative is wrong. I'm not a bad person for having an imperfect complexion, and neither was I any less worthy when I had worse skin versus now. This story doesn't have an end because it's not over yet. I'm still learning how to love myself with or without good skin. Whether accutane works or not, whether if in the next 1, 3, or 5 years my cystic acne is gonna come back. This is the story so far. And hopefully it reaches someone who needs to hear it, because that someone was me a mere year or 2 ago. To have heard that you're not alone, you are not ugly, and you are not worthless just because you don't look like how society says perfect looks like. You're just you, and that's more than enough. So that is my acne and skin transformation journey thus far. In all honesty, I feel like this could have been a really long, like half an hour video or something, but I just wanted to give you the essence of what I've been through and what I continue to go through every day, and my experience being on isotret. If you made it all the way here, thank you for watching until the end, and I hope you found something in this video that speaks to you, that you take whatever you need from it. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you again on a screen near you very soon. Bye!